welcome back to a brand new Nostalgia Bait episode. We're here today with my wonderful co-host Cooper Britton. Welcome.
As always,
we're talking about music today. We've done our top 5 films, we've done our top 5 TV shows, we've done our top 5 video games. We've never talked about music before, and I don't think I've ever really talked about music with you.
No, we don't discuss it. I think our tastes are definitely quite, not different, but I think
when we met we were more into Minecraft parodies. So
standard. Still to this day.
Still to this day. We're going to be talking about our top 5s, but first, obviously, we've got our honourable mentions. The reason we're talking about the top, well, it's not the reason. It's completely coincidental.
It's completely coincidental, yeah.
But we worked out, we planned this in the schedule to do a top 5 albums thing, and just happened to be the day before Sabrina Carpenter releases her new album, Short and Sweet. This isn't a promo, this isn't an advert, but hey ho.
I wish it was an advert.
I wish. We both happen to be fans, and I thought we'd talk a little bit about that. Are you excited for that?
I'm very excited. Sabrina Carpenter does not miss. I'm not being funny.
I've only recently got into Sabrina Carpenter, and I'm very excited to see.
I truly don't believe Sabrina Carpenter just doesn't miss. Like that album's gonna be so good. So good. She don't miss.
I'm excited for that, and I think just
if
great
Espresso
timing.
and Please or any inklings to what the album's going to be like, I think it's going to be really good.
Yeah,
potentially album of the year. Like I think we could be looking at a potential.
Do you want to, this is I'm exposing myself here, but if you like, there is a TikTok where she does an acoustic version of another song on the album that she hasn't released yet, so you can actually check that out. Yeah, see, I've
look at you. You're a bigger fan than me.
I've already heard Slim Pickings. You haven't, so yeah.
Fuck, fake fan.
Exactly.
I've been exposed.
Exactly.
Actually exposed.
Let's see what we are fans of in the world of music. Let's talk about our honourable mentions. How many have you got?
Let's go. I've got 3.
Oh, you've got 3. I've got 2.
I've got 3. So let's do a simple ping and pong.
A classic.
I'll show you.
That's a lovely classic, yeah.
I was going to say, I get to be ping though this time, don't I? Because I've got more.
You've got more, so start first.
I'll start.
You get to ping. You're pinging, you like.
As I'm ping pang the Elastic Man today. I'll tell you that joke. I'll tell you that story afterwards.
How many fucking references we?
My first ping for George is "Come Home, the Kids Miss You" by Jack Harlow.
I don't know this one.
Yeah, Jack Harlow is kind of, I guess, more of a recent. I say recent, like from the last few years. This was a 2020 or 2021 album. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
But it's "Come Home, the Kids." It's a weird title for an album. I'm not gonna lie.
Come Home, the Kids Miss You.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very recent.
It's 2022, so it's a very recent album. I listened to it for the first time. I actually didn't really enjoy it that much. And then kind of went back to it probably close to a year later, or at least like about 9 months later. Absolutely love this album now. It's one of those albums that if I'm driving like short distances, I'll just put on. If I don't want to listen to a playlist or anything like that. And to be 100% honest, I've listened to the whole album quite a few times. But the majority of what I know is from the first half, because it's usually only what I get through. And there's some bangers, like Dua Lipa, which is a song that is such a good song. Snoop D-O-double-G. Dua Lipa, the song does not feature Dua Lipa. It's just called Dua Lipa.
Interesting.
The song, first line of the song is Dua Lipa. I love it. Dua Lipa, I'm trying to do more with her than get a feature. That's the first line of the song.
Damn, that's
Snoop D-O-double-G also features on one of the early songs.
Bro is down horrendous in the studio album.
Bro is down bad on the studio album. But yeah, First Class is really famous. That was kind of like the big song from it, and that was all over the radio and the charts. But yeah, banger album, love it. Great songs. There you
Lovely
go.
Stuff.
That's my ping.
Okay, well I will pong back to you. We're doing the action. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll pong back to you. A lot of my picks today are very normie. I found a lot of them are very objectively good albums, so it sounds like I'm just saying it because I'm like, I know music. No, these are genuinely good albums, and I love them, and I have a lot of passion for them, as you'll soon see. But the first one I want to mention here is Amy Winehouse, Back to Black. She only ever released 2 albums, Frank and Back to Black, and Frank's great, but this is just like, what can I say that hasn't been said about Back to Black? Because everyone has under the sun knows how good this album is. It's rated as one of the best albums of all time in a lot of different places. It's phenomenal. It comes from a very, very real set of emotions. And it's some phenomenal music. Like banger after banger after banger after banger.
I know most of the songs on this album, but I've never listened to it all the way through.
And I think if you listen to it all the way through,
really
you'll form a really good connection with it. And I did. Well, obviously, me and my girlfriend watched the Amy Winehouse film earlier this year when it came out, and that was okay. Yeah, but
I actually really enjoyed the Amy Winehouse movie.
It's all right. It has my problem. We'll talk about biopics another time because that's a whole other deep thing. But then we watched the documentary Amy the day after, and then for the preceding months, the following months, we
Listened
just listened to loads of Amy Winehouse, pretty much the Back to Black, Frank, and just kind of on repeat. And this album especially just completely blew me away. I knew of it anyway. I'd heard songs from it. I just didn't realize that there were that many famous songs in this one album. And I think when a singer-songwriter can do that, it's very, very impressive. So yeah, that's my pong. There you go. Back to you.
My ping back to you, Will. We will just insert every Eminem album from 1999 all the way down till about 2010.
I didn't know you were an Eminem fan.
Fucking love Eminem. His newest album was so good. Was so fucking good.
That's
only came out like 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, I think, something like that. 2-3 weeks ago.
I think it's
phenomenal.
Not, you know.
It probably is, to be honest. But on my list here, I've specifically listed Slim Shady LP, which is his first, Marshall Mathers LP, and Recovery, which I think are three of the biggest ones. It's like Curtain Call and stuff as well.
Mm-hmm.
But the Slim Shady LP is so good. Like, I love Eminem. This is the thing. I wanted to include Eminem, but there's just like so many of the songs from different albums are famous, and I didn't want to just go for like, oh, the Eminem greatest hits, or there's so many I could have just gone, oh, the Frank Sinatra greatest hits, or the Queen greatest hits, but I didn't want that.
Sure.
I wanted to have the actual albums that I love. Eminem, it'd be a disgrace if I didn't mention him. Slim Shady LP, it's just phenomenal. Like, when you think that there's a documentary as well on Netflix with Dr. Dre, like, if you watch that and then listen to the Slim Shady LP, it's like just listening to the first song being the first ever thing he's ever done in a booth, and it's like, what on earth? Like, the stuff he comes out with, obviously it's Slim Shady, so it doesn't count.
I need to kind of check that documentary out. That sounds interesting.
It's really good.
I'm familiar with Eminem's music, but I've never listened to like all the albums through.
The documentary's about Dr. Dre in total, but there's an episode about when Eminem first signed, and he talks about him going into the booth for the first ever time and plays him a beat. And straight away he goes, "Hi, my name is." Like literally like that, like off rip creates Slim Shady character, and it's phenomenal. And then you listen to Slim Shady LP, and it's like, oh my! It's some of the stuff he comes out with is crazy, but it's just so good. His lyricism is on another level. There's no wonder that, like, and even his later albums, like, there's just so many songs that are just so impactful. If you listen to people who like grew up around like Eminem's era, hearing stories, so many people thought he was a black rapper when his albums first released, not knowing he was white. My dad tells a story about when he first heard Stan, and he literally had to pull his car over to listen to it properly because it was that emotional when he first heard it.
It's a good song.
It's like those. It's like it's just that those kind of things. Yeah.
I need to listen to the albums. I've already knew a lot of the songs, but I do need to listen to the albums.
Yeah.
But yeah. My second and final one that I wanted to mention, which is more of a recent one, probably a bit of a curveball, bit of a surprising one. This is Fine Line, Harry Styles. It's an album that I think is genuinely just brilliant. I'd never really listened to much Harry Styles music beforehand, but I genuinely think every song in this album really stands out. I think it's a really good album for only his second album. His first one is a lot more indie rock. A lot of people quite like that more than this one, and I get that. Not my scene at all. I'm not an Arctic Monkeys guy. I'm not a Harry Styles' first album kind of guy. I'm a Fine Line kind of guy. The music and the sort of stories that are told in there, I think, are brilliant, and I think just the music is so iconic. You have to respect it. You have to. He's a phenomenal songwriter and musician.
Oh, 100%.
I'm
that album's amazing.
Blown away by it. Yeah.
I'm actually going to see him live at Wembley, and it was a lot of songs from that album, and they were really good live as well. So good. Like, it was I feel like that album lasted so long. Like, it was constantly being played. Like, the songs was that good.
Like
the songs were that good
or something. But I think it might have been because of COVID maybe as well.
Yeah, but still the song. And hearing him do that live at Wembley was beautiful. No high fives though. I was very far back.
Not getting dapped up like you were Michael Bublé then.
No dapping up by Sam Ryder. Oh my god, that's just completely spoiled because I've just read it on my list of what my last one is. My final ping is There's Nothing But Spaceman.
God, who's it gonna be?
There's Nothing But Spaceman by Sam Ryder. Again, another one that I've seen live.
Sam Ryder.
Sam Ryder, I was already a massive fan of.
His stuff.
Eurovision. He was well. I don't want to get controversial. He basically won Eurovision for us, if that makes sense. Where he was he was the year that when we hosted it the year after.
Yeah.
Because we got second place and they couldn't host it in Ukraine or something like that with
that's
Spaceman. I think that's what it's called.
it,
Yeah,
yeah,
Spaceman.
yeah.
But I already knew of him because during COVID and lockdown, he basically started doing like singing TikToks and Instagram reels and stuff. And I remember seeing his, and his voice is phenomenal. His range is unbelievable.
So I was going to say, I've heard. What is it again? Is it Lost?
Fought and Lost. Is that the one you're
Lost,
thinking of? The newest one.
He did that with Brian May, and I think that was in Ted Lasso. And I was like,
yes.
my God, this sounds like a Queen song. And the vocal range is probably the most similar to that of Freddie Mercury I've heard.
When I first heard Fought and Lost, I actually thought it was a cover of a Queen song, and I actually Googled it and was like, I couldn't believe it. So, and then like I was saying, so this album came out because it was basically, I didn't know whether I would be able to see him live, and managed to book last minute tickets with my parents.
Yeah.
And basically, I listened to it like a week to 5 days leading up to it, and I went in and knew every word of every song, and it's one of the greatest, genuinely one of the greatest shows I've been to. Like, it was a smaller venue, not like a massive arena. It was amazing live. Like, his rate, like, bear in mind he was doing like a full tour of the UK. His voice didn't falter once. It was absolutely beautiful, and even the songs he's released afterwards are amazing. I
need to listen to more of his stuff because I think he's got a phenomenal voice, but I've never listened to it. So this is an album that I will actually.
He's one of those. He's one of and I think a lot of music nowadays, not to like discredit artists, but I think some of it, like, it's so auto tuned, and there's some songs I listen to where it's like, this just shouldn't, like, just mindless covers of songs, like, there's. But him, I think, deserves every bit of credit. Starting from, like, I think it was like his mom's garage. He was doing these TikTok songs.
Amazing.
He does his Eurovision warm up. He does Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh,
oh my! It's not like a full song.
Clearly, a fan of Queen,
God,
then. That's good.
Oh, yeah. I think he talks like it's a
I'd love
massive
to see
inspiration.
him perform
He's
more
very
with Brian May
Freddie
and do
Mercury.
Queen songs.
Yeah.
That'd be great. But obviously, he's so good in his own right. He doesn't need to.
Yeah.
But I almost would love to see that.
But yeah, I highly recommend it. It's such a good album.
Excellent.
I absolutely love it to bits.
Well, that's great. I'm definitely have to. Yeah. It's already off to a flying start with this. So let's go into our top 5 then.
Before you go into your top 5, if you're going to flex with your vinyls for your top 5, you've got to at least let me flex with my only vinyl that I own. That is on display. I don't know if you know this. I don't know if I've shown you this before.
You've only got one vinyl.
We have vinyls, but I have one on display. Yes, we do.
Okay.
I've got like some of the ABBA vinyls and stuff, like the original ones.
Yeah. Okay, Mr. Fucking.
So the only vinyl I have on display is the Jaws vinyl.
Oh, that's cold! Oh, man!
Which I don't think I've ever shown before. How sick is that?
Oh,
this is my only vinyl flex.
That's so
the Jaws
cool.
vinyl, isn't it? Original as well.
Is that not in your top 5 then?
The Jaws album is not in my top 5 now. Because I got given a load of vinyls from like my grandparents and stuff.
Yeah.
And there was loads of like amazing. We've got oh my god, the Boney M vinyl, which has got like Rasputin and stuff on. Really cool. Anyway, top 5. Sorry, I just had to show that.
That's great. So yeah, Cooper's mentioned. I've actually got all 5 of my top 5 on vinyl, to show and just go like, look what I've got. Do you want me to start my top 5, or do you want to start?
Yeah, I started with the honorable mentions. You started with the top 5.
Okay, so my 5th place, and I will say, I'd say 4 of these are really normie, well-known, very good albums, right? But I fucking love them. I think they're brilliant albums. First one is probably one that I'm passionate about, but like out of the 5, probably the least passionate about, and that is Fleetwood Mac. Rivers.
Yeah, that's a sick vinyl to have.
Great album. Undeniably, probably their best album.
Yeah.
Their best song, in my opinion, Tusk, isn't on it. That's a joke, by the way. But I do love Tusk, though. Great song. This album is just... It's one of those ones where I sort of slowly familiarised myself with Fleetwood Mac over a long period of time and picked up on individual songs, but never the complete album. And it's only when I listened to the album in its entirety that I realised, oh shit, it's all in here. All of the ones that I knew or loved are in here, and a few more as well. And that's always the best bit. I just absolutely adore it, and I think it's genuinely brilliant.
Yeah. I've never listened to the album all the way through, but again, like you're saying, I probably know most of the songs on it.
It's absolutely, honestly, it's a great album, and it's one that if you haven't listened to, you absolutely should. I'm gonna stop. Yeah, I'm not feeling that at all. Do you know what? Look, this is really rogue. I'm going completely off piste. I love Rumours. That's not in my top 5 anymore.
Wait, what?
I'm going.
What are you doing?
I'm going fucking rogue. Is what I'm doing. Because as I was talking about this album, another one came to mind, and it hit me in my brain like a ton of bricks, and I thought, I physically cannot not have that in my top 5.
You should have just left it in. You should just ram it and be like...
We're rolling with this. We're rolling with this.
Oh, okay.
I don't give a fuck.
I thought this was getting cut out. No.
No.
This is live.
Batman. The album that I'm going to put actually at number 5, which I've also got on vinyl.
Oh, Mike, this episode is carnage. We'll bring out the jaws. I'll keep everyone entertained. So, I got given a load of vinyls from my grandparents, which had, like, ABBA, had loads of them.
The Stranger. From Billy Joel, The Stranger.
How many vinyls
this
do
album,
you own?
and I can't hear Cooper, this album...
How many vinyls do you own?
I own a fucking lot of vinyls. We can talk about this after. Billy Joel, The Stranger, right? This album, not only is it fucking... And I'll flex with this vinyl because it's impossible to find in the UK. My adoring girlfriend bought this for me, I think at Christmas, and it's such a nice gift because it's like an original. It's an original pressing, and it's impossible to find any Billy Joel albums on vinyl in the UK, never mind an original press. I'm eternally grateful for that. This album is actually fucking amazing. And I know this is really chaotic, and I'm wasting a lot of time, but we're gonna roll with it, okay? Okay?
Mm-hmm. You can have chaos, I have questionable, so we'll just roll with it.
Look, I love Fleetwood Mac. I'm glad we mentioned that. It's not going to be moved to the honourable mentions now, so I'm like, look, it's there. It is what it is. It's a great vinyl. It's a great album. I love it. But The Stranger just hit me, and I was like, fuck, this is actually... Personally, I prefer it. A lot of people don't know too many Billy Joel songs. I think there's a few famous ones, and then that's about it. And I think The Stranger, for me... is probably his best collection of music, but also the ones that aren't as well known and aren't as famous are fucking amazing. The final track, Everybody Has a Dream, is one that I'd never heard of before I got the vinyl, and I listened to it and I was like, wow, like it was just a phenomenal song, a great ending to the album, proper classic like end of the album vibes, which we'll definitely be talking about again at some point in this episode. But yeah, a lot of great songs in there. Moving Out is great. Just the Way You Are, gorgeous song. Scenes from an Italian Restaurant, gorgeous song. Vienna is a really famous song, which is excellent. Only the Good Die Young, the boys fans might know that one. She's Always a Woman is also a great song. There's so much in this album that's great. It's one of those ones that's quite a short album, only 9 songs, but it is a beautifully good album. And yeah, I'm a big Billy Joel fan. Never seen him live. Come to London, my guy. Stop doing concerts just in Cardiff. Come to London, because I want to see you perform live. Please. Sorry about all that. That
was chaos.
I know, but that's all.
I know, but I'm not saying that in a bad way.
Look,
That's just
look.
This episode's going to be chaos. So.
It's going to be chaos. Look, it's one of those things where it's like the thing with music is there's so many albums. There's thousands and thousands and thousands, millions of albums, right? That anyone could pick up on and anyone could love. And this one is one that just came back into my mind of like, that was going to be on my top 5, and I'd forgotten before recording this, and I thought, fuck, I can't not mention it now. And I don't want to just mention it in an off comment, because I actually really love it. I love it so much that I'd completely forgotten all about it before recording this. Cooper, what's your number 5?
My number 5 is the 2012 album Overexposed by Maroon 5. Maroon 5 are one of my favourite bands or just collective music makers of all time.
Okay.
I'm not going to mention the controversy.
I'm
not going to mention the controversy with Adam Levine because...
Right. So the mistake you've made there, Cooper, is mentioning it and me not knowing what that is.
We'll talk about this afterwards.
Is it that bad?
Not terrible, but it's funny. It's like it's a meme.
I'm interested now.
This album, Overexposed, I love Maroon 5. Like again, one of the ones I adore to see live. Never seen them live. Payphone, which is probably a song you'll know because in 2012
I know
it was played to the nth degree, is my favourite song of all time.
I
loved it. Oh, like hands down. a lot of nostalgia in it as well, but I still love the song.
Okay, I can understand
know-
nostalgia. I'm not going to take the piss because music is completely subjective.
If you're gonna take the piss,
Payphone.
wait till a little bit later on because there's better things to take the piss out
Payphone
of.
by Maroon 5 is your favourite song of all time.
Yes,
See,
featuring Wiz Khalifa.
I couldn't.
Yeah.
Okay,
What?
that's pretty funny. I can't even picture what my favourite song of all time would be.
I know for a fact it's without a doubt is one of my favorite songs. It is my favorite song of all time.
I'm gonna double it down.
Like dead
Okay.
serious.
Fair enough.
But
What about
the whole album,
rest of the
not just
yeah.
just Pale. The album's fucking phenomenal. Like I remember getting this on CD when I was a kid. Like I had the full.
Wow.
I remember listening to it on CD when I was a kid. I remember like because Payphone came out first, and that was like I fell in love with that song. I remember listening to Payphone and trying to learn Wiz Khalifa's rap from it, and and I still know it to this day. Like
Go on, then.
like what? Fuck off! Not a chance. not on my.
Hey, 2 episodes ago, you tried to get me to do an Audrey 2 impression,
And you didn't
Little
do
Shop
it.
of Horrors. Yeah, but there was a point where I thought I might.
And if you had, I would have done this. So.
Fuck. Damn.
We'll
get you there
But this
one day.
song, One More Night, Payphone, Daylight.
Yeah.
The opening 3 tracks are just beautiful. To be honest, I feel like the album's not like as famous as some of the other Maroon 5 albums. There's obviously the ones
I've
that
not
the
heard
music
of the
videos for
album.
released as singles. Lucky Strike, number 4, is just fucking
I'm gonna listen to
unbelievable.
it. I'm going to listen to it later
It's
tonight when
such,
I'm doing like just sort of
such a good song.
different stuff.
Um, They just Man Who Never Lied. And there's just so many Love Somebody, and then they did a cover of Let's Stay Together. Like there's so many Tickets, Do and Dirt, some amazing songs on it. It's a great album. It's not like it's mainly on here because it's nostalgia, and it was like the album I remember, one of the albums I remember most. And to be fair, some of these are quite nostalgic for me, for my top 5. But they are ones I'd still
This
listen
is
to
something that's
today.
important though that people seem to forget is that it's not about you saying this is objectively one of the best albums of all time.
Yeah.
It's you saying that for me this is
Yeah.
because there's some ones in here. It's like okay, I could see it's my normie taste, but like same thing with films and TV shows. Like Big Bang Theory for you is one that you. I'm not doing a meme here. I'm being genuine, but like it's for you. It's a really important show, and it's one that you have a very special nostalgic connection with, and it means a lot to you. It doesn't matter how objectively dog shit it is. You love it, and that's what's important about it.
Yeah, and this one there's still the songs on here like. Most likely, I wouldn't listen to the whole album if that makes sense. Like, there's so many songs on here I'd listen to individually.
What worries me is that this is a relatively normal one, and I'm worried about where this list is going because
Number 4 is
you
I'm
do
gonna
it,
get
you
absolutely
do
rinsed.
it, you do it. I'm worried you're going to pull out something like a dream.
No, as in the YouTuber.
That's what the mask is. He's been cancelled yet, hasn't he? He must have been cancelled.
I think so.
Thank God.
But that's my number 5. I just love it. Like I'd recommend any of these albums that I talk about. Most of these albums I'll talk about.
Yeah.
I'd recommend listening to.
Fair enough.
There
It's a
you
good
go.
one. It's a good one.
What's your number 4?
My number 4 is the nichest one yet. The nichest one yet. This is so I kind of pride myself, and people kind of know me as more of a soundtrack guy. The kind of job that I have, I'm sat at a desk most of the time. I can't really listen to songs because I'm trying to like work and do other stuff and actually stay employed. So I listen to a lot of soundtracks, a lot of film soundtracks, and obviously you got your Star Wars in there, you got your Indiana Jones in there, right? Too easy. But I did want to have an album, a soundtrack album, in this. And I thought, well, better than to take one that I have actually got on vinyl, and is not
Subtle
only
flex.
a great, says the man with the framed original Jaws album. I'm jealous of you.
That wasn't subtle at all. My jaws album flex.
That was just
I was
a
not
flex,
trying to
baby.
be subtle.
So this one is a film that I've seen, which I don't think is very good. And that's why it's kind of unique, is I don't think the film is all that. It's fine. It's a normal film. It's kind of heartwarming. It's kind of relaxing. But the best part about the film is by far the soundtrack. And this is the soundtrack to the film, Local Hero.
You
which
have
is- Which is, the music is from Mark Knopfler of Dire Straits. And people who are from Newcastle upon Tyne may be familiar vaguely with this album soundtrack, simply because the very final track on this is called Going Home, and it's the theme for Local Hero, which is the tune that the Newcastle United players walk out to.
I'm not being funny. Just for that one alone, that is such an amazing vinyl to have. That is unbelievable.
But it's not just a bit going. This is a. I mean, let's be fair. The theme for local hero going home. That tune that the Newcastle United players walk out to, the Newcastle United anthem.
This thing, I don't think it's new. I'm not a football fan. It's just a Newcastle anthem. Like,
it is.
I'm not a Newcastle United fan. I'm not a football fan. But I resonate with that song being from Newcastle.
It's gorgeous, right? But that and it's absolutely phenomenal, and I love it to bits, and I can listen to it on repeat without getting bored of it. However, that's not why I like this album. This is one of the most relaxing, therapeutic albums of like soundtrack that I've ever heard. Seriously, the whole film is about businessmen going over to like a small village in Scotland to basically scope it out to take it over for like an oil company or something, and the whole thing is the businessman falls in love with the sort of authentic Scottish like Highlands and village and their ways and stuff, and it's a really heartwarming story about him going there as a businessman and coming away basically saving the village from being taken over by this oil company. And it's gorgeous. The sound and fun fact, it stars Peter Capaldi. One of the earliest acting jobs in his career. It stars Peter Capaldi. And he's great in it. It's a bit of a comedy. It's the film soundtrack though. The music from it is absolutely gorgeous and it's so relaxing. Whenever I write, I listen to this. Whenever I go on like a walk or something, I'll probably listen to this. It is so relaxing, and I really urge, if you've never listened to this and you're a bit of a soundtrack kind of head and you've never listened to this whole album, I would absolutely love you to check this out.
I'm definitely going to listen to this.
Obviously, a lot of Geordies will know the last track, because it's the main theme. But that sort of motif carries throughout a lot of the tracks, including the wild theme, which is like the main theme of the film as well. But it's the theme, but it's kind of slowed down in a more relaxing way. It's very vibey, and it's very like nostalgic, even though it's like a film I saw like 3 years ago. It feels nostalgic. It feels like something before my time, and it's like, yeah. That final track as well has a resonating history with Newcastle, and I think as someone who no longer lives in Newcastle, this album, even though it's a film about Scotland, like it resonates a lot with that feeling of nostalgia and the feeling of warmth and home.
Fun fact, not really a fun fact. It's kind of sad. When I was driving home from university, when I was moving back home from university, as I was driving into my home village, I put Local Hero on and cried in my car as I was driving in.
Good man. I respect that.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm not a Newcastle United fan, but that's the kind of like impact that the song still has.
Yeah, exactly. It resonates with home, and it's a piece of music that is so gorgeous. I don't know. It's wonderful. But I'm going to stop talking about Local Hero because it's not something everyone's heard. But honestly, if you get a chance to listen to this soundtrack, please do listen to it. It's all on Spotify. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous soundtrack and collection of music. The film is fine, but the soundtrack is absolutely the best part of it, and it's phenomenal. And if I was ever going to mention a soundtrack on here, it was going to be Local Hero. I used to have a segment on one of my old podcasts, Spill Your Beans, where I'd ask people to bring in a sound of their favourite film soundtrack. And I never got to do... I can't remember. Forrest Gump? Oh, that was your favourite film, wasn't it? I'm really tempted to sort of try and remember this. I feel like it was something...
You know mine. No, you know mine. It's very famous. I also cried hearing this live for the recently.
Jewel of the Fates?
Yeah. Jewel of the Fates is my favourite piece of soundtrack music ever.
I asked people to come with like a track or an album, and you brought Jewel of the Fates. For me, if I was ever answering that question of what my favourite film soundtrack would ever be, would be Local Hero, because it's not one that it's not like, not to put yours down because that resonates with you.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like I love listening to Indiana Jones, Star Wars, to famous film scores. That for me as an album in its
I don't know what my full soundtrack would be. I just know like that's my favourite piece of like movie, like cinema.
Oh, and that's a gorgeous bit. Yeah, it's phenomenal. But I think for me, it resonates with this feeling of nostalgia. It puts me in this sort of like limbo, where it's like kind of it's an album that kind of feels like an escape. I'm talking about it very wanky now, but it is such a nice soundtrack.
Yeah.
Anyway, what's your number 4?
Okay, I should preface this now. I hate myself. I hate myself on number 4 after you've just gone on talking about that. Actually hate myself for what I'm about to come out with. My number 4 is Dissimulation by KSI. Okay, right.
No! no,
Right,
no,
okay, before,
that's
before-
worse than Big Bang Theory, I think.
please,
What?
before the comments go mental,
Let me see
right?
what's in this album, and
And
I'm
the-
going to see if
and
I
the
let you get
TikTok-
away with this.
And the TikTok clip goes viral, and it's got
You
thousands of views, and I get
fucking
shit on
dick.
in every single. Oh, I hate myself for this. This is the thing, though. I actually debated which KSI album was going to be on this.
No!
Like,
What do you
dead
mean?
serious. Because of the year that it came out. When did this come out?
Fuck, 2020.
This came out in 2020. Oh
got it
god,
up.
I was 18. Jesus Christ.
yeah, no excuses, dickhead. This is new.
No, I was 19. I was 19.
That's not better.
I remember this coming out, and it's one of the albums that I stayed up till midnight because. Don't get me wrong. I listened to.
It gets worse, bro. It gets
I might just leave it here. I might just move on to number 3. I
No,
can't bring this
go on.
back.
You've
I
fucking
can't-
done this.
I can't bring this back.
You've laid your bed. Lie in
Right.
it.
Okay. YouTube, growing up YouTube, I was a big KSI fan. I loved the Sidemen diss track era. I fucking know most of them off by heart, right? That's just a thing. So in KSI started doing music, and dead serious, right? To this day, I still do enjoy his music. I'm not trying to say, oh, I used to enjoy it now. I genuinely do enjoy his music. This is an album that I will go back to and listen to all the way through. I think this is the most consistent out of all the ones that he's done. Good track list. A lot of them are ones that he's done videos for, not famous, but you know what I mean. It's just like being so like a YouTube head when I was like 19 and kind of in it was like I'd listen to the case, like it was genuinely like I would really look forward to when these albums were coming out, and when they would come out at midnight I would stay up and listen to them all the way through. I loved all the songs on this. It's generally one of those albums that I actually don't I don't dislike any of the songs. I actually enjoy all of the songs all the way through. Oh my god. I enjoy all the songs all the way through, all 12 songs, even the deluxe edition, which I think is even better because the songs on that are fucking phenomenal. Great album. I apologise for this fucking list. I promise it gets better
I've never
from here.
listened to it. I've never listened to it. I just can't imagine it being
Good.
sick. Yeah, I mean that's
There you
fine.
go.
That's
what I'm saying. I feel bad
Look,
for that being my
Look,
number
it's
4
your
after
look. It's
what
your
you've
it's
just
your
said.
list. It's your list.
I'll stand by it. I genuinely do enjoy this album. Like, dead serious. Even like now, as a 21-year-old male.
I'll just say something that's only going to mean something to one person at work who I know will listen to this. Matt Napier, I'm not going to defend this.
I've made my bed.
Because that man, when he listens to these episodes, right, he's told me he's pressed at your choices for everything, right? And I'll be like, it's like nostalgia. And I'll be
Nah,
like,
don't even.
This
Don't
doesn't
even.
get the pass
That's
at
fine.
all.
Don't. I don't want it. I've made my bed. I'll align it. I enjoy this album. I listened to this album
Okay.
at midnight when it came out, which I have with most of KSI's albums.
You couldn't pay me to admit that on camera.
I've made my bed. I'll lay in my bed.
God. Can we
What's
move
your
on to number 3?
What's your number 3?
Oh god, that's really made me laugh though, so fair enough. Mine. So there's always a story, isn't there? So this one,
Yeah, there is. That's why KSI's number 4.
this is my number 3. This is OK Computer by Radiohead.
Ah,
This is probably this is a normie take. I'm aware it is. It's a phenomenal album. It's Radiohead's best album, in my opinion. Anyway, I know a lot of people like Kid A as well. Not my cup of tea. OK Computer is just a beautiful, like dystopian scape of music that I just think is marvelous to listen to in one sitting. There are a few songs. I think Fitter Happier, which is just sort of noises. I think that's the right one. But there's some great songs in this. No Surprises is a very well-known Radiohead song, which is a gorgeous Radiohead song. Karma Police is very, very well-known as well and is very good. And then Exit Music for a Film, which you may recognise from the Black Mirror episode and or Westworld, if you're cultured. And that's a good segue into kind of how I discovered Radiohead music was through Westworld. a show that we've talked about on here before that not many of you listen to.
That
To
was
be
so
fair,
offhanded.
it's not even our worst performing episode. That's the funny
No.
thing. It's just it was a bit, and now we have to keep that bit going.
Yeah.
People don't like
It's
Westworld.
not even on YouTube, so it
No,
is.
it's not.
It is. Not a video form,
some-
yeah. but,
somewhere.
yeah.
But Westworld is a show
depths.
that I absolutely just love, and they do a lot of like Western style covers. of
That's
famous
your
songs.
fucking Baldur's Gate. Westworld's your Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, but Westworld's good.
So is Baldur's Gate. Award winning, I'll have you fucking know.
Wait, I mean, fair enough. Westworld did get cancelled.
There we go. Sorry.
I'll take it. That's all right.
That's a bit from last week's episode.
Same recording session, baby.
Yeah.
So this album, yeah. So I was familiarised with Radiohead's music through Westworld, and those songs that I was familiarised with, Karma Police and Exit Music for a Film, and No Surprises, all of which are in the Westworld Season 1 soundtrack and in the OK Computer album. So I familiarised myself with this, and very recently I sort of ventured out into listen to all Radiohead albums, and although I love a lot of their individual songs here and there, this is by far their best album, and yeah, it resonates a lot with me because I was never that much of a music kid growing up. I would listen to a lot of like shit online, like Minecraft parodies and YouTube.
Minecraft parodies are not shit, okay? Let's
Yes,
fucking...
they are, though,
No, they
bro.
aren't.
They
No,
are,
they
though.
aren't.
They are
They're not.
objectively bad. But
Going to the Nether? No, it's not.
what about the Mind Diamonds kid?
A goat. That song's fucking goated.
Mind
Your mic completely cuts out for Discord compression.
Yeah, but I think for me this was like one of the first albums that I was
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, I love this now. This is music.
This is my
And
whole
this-
personality now.
Yeah, exactly. This hit me like a brick when I discovered it, and yeah, I absolutely love this album. And I'm sure there's a lot of great analysis on the internet about it, and I am not gonna give it any sort of great analysis because I haven't read that much into some stuff on it, but I know there's a lot of like depth to it. I just love the music on here. Subterranean Homesick Alien as well is vibey as fuck. Let Down's gorgeous. Like all the songs pretty much on here are brilliant. So definitely worth a listen if you haven't already. But yeah, OK Computer is a brilliant album. I went very jolly there. OK Computer. OK Computer is a great album.
My number 3 is Montero by Lil Nas X. Yes, the man who
Okay.
did...
No.
yes, he did Old Town Road.
No, man.
So-
I'll let you cook. I'll let you cook with this one.
Old Town
It's an
Road,
actual artist.
actual artist, Old Town Road came out. Honestly, banger. Really enjoyed
Yeah.
it. Did an EP. I think it was called 7. Good EP. Good songs. Then he kind of disappeared for a little bit. And then came back and started releasing like a few songs here and there.
So this is his only album?
This is his first studio album and currently only studio album.
Wow. Okay.
So he released Montero, which is the opening song to the album, as a single. Fucking banger. If you've not seen it, he gives a lap dance to a devil in the video, which is what was most famous for.
Hot.
And then he did one with... This is how I discovered Jack Harlow, actually, because he did a song
Interesting.
called Industry Baby,
Industry Baby, which
where
I see, yeah.
Jack Harlow featured.
Interesting.
Jack Harlow has a banger rap verse in it.
Interesting.
And then he also released another single from the album called Sun Goes Down, and then basically announced the album. Me and my girlfriend listened, like really enjoyed Lil Nas X leading up to the album, and it's kind of why it's on it, but I also fucking love this album. I could genuinely listen to this album all the way through on repeat. Every single song of this album is a fucking banger. It's weird though, because it's like the first half of the album are all upbeat, like proper like dancey music, and then you hit the halfway point and it becomes like really sentimental, and some of the songs become about like him growing up being gay and stuff like that, and like amazing. And then the final one, Am I Dreaming, with Miley Cyrus, is a fucking banger.
See, this is good though, and that's what I like
Absolutely,
about this. I feel like with
amazing album.
I feel like with this episode, I'm hoping that we can kind of both go away from this and just
Yeah.
have completely new music to listen to. And I do this, I say, like I do this at work, and I'll kind of just like tail off here a little bit if you don't mind. Sorry.
No, go on.
We have this thing because again, like office job and all that sort of thing, is between like 3 or 4 of us, we have like different music tastes, and we do this little sort of mini game thing where it's like we all have different music tastes and we all want to expose each other to different musicians. So for me, it's Beatles, and then we've got Kanye West, Taylor Swift, and BTS. Stuff that, other than Kanye, not ones I would listen to. But we do it where it's sort of you pick a number between one and whatever to pick an album, and then number between whatever and whatever for the track, and then we listen to a track every day for each artist. And it's stuff like that where it's like I've found such a great love for discovering new music.
Yeah.
Whether I like it or not doesn't matter. I'm learning and I'm educating myself through this artistic medium, and I think that's so fascinating to do. And it's something I'm excited to do with all of the albums that you've mentioned today, bar the KSI one maybe. But
that's completely fine.
I'm excited to get into it and to listen to all of these songs and to kind of experience it. And
even with BTS, what you were saying about like I was always like K-pop, or I wouldn't enjoy K-pop. Last year, when I like went on like a trip and stuff, honestly, banger. K-pop is such a good genre.
Yeah,
it's so good. BTS are really good.
The BTS has more influence from hip hop and rap from the 90s than I ever thought they would. I didn't know that's what it was. I was like, oh, cool. There's some good stuff in here. I like that.
This Montero, this album, it's like there's famous songs from it. There's ones that have videos, stuff like that. But I love Industry Baby, which is a very famous song. Probably my favorite on the album. My other favorites on the album, generally, are not really known at all. Am I Dreaming? Because it would be the end of the album as well. You never hear anyone talk about, and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Miley Cyrus performed, like, it brings so much to it. It's such a lovely melodic song. Banger album. I actually fucking adore this album so much.
It's like, you've sold me, Cooper. I'm going to have to listen to that now. That's good. That's very good.
Your number 2.
My 2.
I'm so excited for my number 2.
Oh, fuck. I'm not excited for your number 2. You've got a bad track record now.
That's fine.
My number 2 is probably the most normie one of all time. And I'm very sorry to music heads. But you'll probably agree if you've heard the album. Like, it is objectively very good, but I can explain why I like it. And again, it comes from Westworld. Again, interestingly, I discover music. The way I consume music is I discover it through TV and film. I'll watch a film, I'll watch a TV show, and it'll either sample the music, it'll use it for a soundtrack, or it'll play the song as like licensed music. And I adore that way of it, because then I can kind of consume music and kind of associate it with something visual and something emotional. And that's how I consume a lot of music. With this, it's kind of like that. But this album is from Pink Floyd, and it's Dark Side of the Moon. It's a classic album.
I love the cover for this album.
It's a classic album. It's a classic cover. Like, yeah. But what people don't talk about enough is the contents of this album. They talk about the album. They talk about, like, the cover. They talk about how inspirational and influential it is. Yeah. I don't hear anywhere near the right amount of people talking about how actually brilliant the songs are in this album and how experimental it is and how genius it is. So the one thing this album does, which I love more than anything, and the same can be said about some of my number 1 pick, is it's seamless. You can listen effectively from 1 to 10, all the tracks, and it will flow naturally into the next.
Montero's like that.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Oh!
Yeah.
Well,
Montero's an album that you have to listen to all the way through.
Then I'm listening to. Oh, I'm excited. See, that's more exciting for me. It's just like a niche thing that really works for me. I love getting those like seamless transitions from the next track to the next track. And my number 1 pick has some of the best ones I've ever seen or listened to. With this, it's the same, and it's not every song, because obviously on a vinyl, it's like you have to have your side 1 and side 2. So the way it was designed initially, obviously, is to sort of be like seamless, but obviously with that sort of midway through swap in mind. But this has probably the most epic conclusion to that in the two of the more famous songs in the album, Brain Damage and Eclipse, which are very well known songs. Brain Damage was used in Westworld. Eclipse was used in like June, the trailer for it.
Really?
But those two songs back to back are like explosive. They're massive and exciting, and this culmination. And if you spend the 42 minutes sitting listening to this album just in a run, you feel that. You really, really feel that. Not to mention all of the other tracks on this are just incredible as well. There's a few experimental ones, but Greatest Gig in the Sky, gorgeously beautiful song. Time is fucking awesome. I love that song. Money's great. Like, it's just a proper experimental, out there album. But it's that seamlessness and that iconography of some of these pieces of music that just sits so nicely with me. I don't have a nostalgic point to go on. This just makes me geek the fuck out, and I love it for that. That's all I have to say. That's all I can say about it. Dark Side of the Moon. Now, I'm not too familiar with Pink Floyd as artists beyond this album. I know a few of their songs outside of this, but I would like to listen to more and discover more, because as it stands, this is all I'm familiar with, and it's my my second favourite, maybe. It's hard to rank a top 5 albums, but I think it is absolutely up there, and if it wasn't for my more recent appreciation of what my number 1 is, this would be at the top.
I love this second album, but we are literally the dichotomy of man when it comes to these albums.
No, please.
Do you have any guess what my number 2 might be?
Honestly, at this point, it genuinely could be Dream.
No.
That's what the mask is.
My number 2 album was, I'm not going to say written because it wasn't written, was performed by my best friend Michael Bublé. And it is Christmas by Michael Bublé.
Oh, fuck off. Really? I mean, you know what? No. Like, let's...
dead serious, right? Alright, dead serious right now. When I was doing this list earlier, I was looking through, like, the songs that I like going through stuff, and I saw Michael Bublé on there. I was like, I love Michael Bublé. And then it came to me, I was like, Michael Bublé's Christmas album is one of the albums I listen to most consistently. And this is, like, not even a bit.
Outside of December?
No, what I'm saying is every year I will listen to it. Every single year without fail. That's what I'm saying. I don't listen... But this is the thing, though. I refuse to listen to this album outside of Christmas. I will not...
So you look forward to it every year?
Yeah, exactly. My rule is I don't start listening to Christmas music until the John Lewis advert comes out for Christmas. That's my rule. Because the John Lewis advert used to be like the big Christmas album.
Yeah, that's a good
rule. The big like Christmas album. That's my rule. Once the John Lewis advert, that's when Christmas starts, and that's just from when I was a kid. I remember when the Michael Bublé album came out, and I had it on CD, and we'd put it on, and it became a tradition in my family that when we put up our Christmas tree. Oh God, because it re-releases it every year.
2011.
Yeah, so I remember when and it's a tradition in my family that when we're putting up the Christmas tree, we will put on the Michael Bublé album from start to finish, no shuffle. It always starts with its beginning to look like Christmas, and I love, because that's always how I start my Christmas. Once the John Lewis advert's out, I'll be in my car or something, and it's the first song I will listen to. And I absolutely adore this album. I love the songs anyway. They're all famous Christmas songs, and I love Christmas songs in general. But Michael Bublé brings, like, himself. Like, I love Michael Bublé's voice. I love so many of his different songs. Not that I've listened to many of his individual albums, but I love all, like, his really popular songs, like What It Was Like When I Went to See Brass. Like, he started It's Beginning to Look Like Christmas when I went to see him live, and I was like, there's no way. I was like, I'd love to see Christmas session live. No, he did. He was like, yeah, half of you in this room probably only know me from like my Christmas song. And he went, It's Beginning to Look, and then stopped. And I was like, no.
Fuck.
Because generally, like, some of my favorite Michael Bublé songs.
Podcast now, I'll be thinking.
Yeah. I was like, some of my favorite Michael Bublé songs are his Christmas songs. Like, it's just such a tradition for me. It's one of the albums I listen to consistently. It's interesting, isn't it, how someone's made
such a massive career out of covers.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's like, don't get me wrong, his original songs are also phenomenal. I'm not just saying.
I don't really know which ones are his originals.
Like, his original songs, like Cry Me River, like those kind of songs, Home, fucking unbelievable. He's got such a good voice. But his Christmas, for me, it just resonates so much. And that's what I was genuinely here, I was like, oh my God, this is high up. Like, this album's gonna have to be high up for me, because I couldn't justify putting it any lower, because I just, like, have so much love for his performances of these songs. Every year I have a different favourite one from the album, and I love that about that.
The thing that I like about this being your second pick, I don't think that's as bad or as memey as you think, because I actually, as much as I would not be seen dead putting a Christmas album in my favourites of all time, but I think it's that emotional resonance. I knew you liked Michael Bublé, and I knew that is like a tradition for you, and it's something that's like so... It's memey
until you hear my explanation behind... Like, it is a memey thing, like, oh, I love Michael Bublé's Christmas album, because it is a meme.
Yeah.
Like,
but I actually like that, to be fair, though.
But, like, I love...
That. After the KSI drop, I'm not putting...
Like, I love... Like, my passion behind it, like, I genuinely fucking love this album. I love all the songs in this album. I will listen to them and sing along to them. I'll put my heart and soul in singing these songs. Like, it's that kind of level, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great mention.
There
I'm happy with that, man.
I just
That's
love
good.
it. And
I
now
like
I'm
Michael
gutted
Bublé.
because I have to wait fucking 4 months to listen to it.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to.
I refuse. Since the album came out, I refuse. I've never ever ever listened to it, like intentionally. Like obviously, some people will play the songs. I've never intentionally listened to a Christmas Michael Bublé song.
I
outside
try
of
and mix it
Christmas.
up with Christmas. I try and put I've got like my playlist that I kind of keep for Christmas, and it's got some Michael Bublé ones in there. But I don't
listen to
ever
other
listen
Christmas
an
songs,
album.
yeah.
But I think it's also clever because it's an album effectively of covers, and he's released it as a thing, and so you'll be able to actually just stick that in. Whereas with the problem with older Christmas music is no one really release Christmas albums in a sense where you'd have to listen to stuff on shuffle. Nowadays, that's fine with streaming and playlists and stuff. But way back when albums were like released physically and that was the only medium you could consume them on, you have to have a lot of singles. And my parents gave me a lot of vinyls, like a lot of single vinyls, like sort of the small ones. And I've actually got a lot of the original like Christmas ones that were released, like Fairy Tales of New York and Last
That's
Christmas.
a cool one to have, yeah. They're good ones to
but
have.
they're the original releases, and it's like that's how you would consume Christmas songs almost back in the days. You'd have to just get the single and then just play it and then swap it over with something else, as opposed to like that where it's like that would work in an old medium because it is just an album of Christmas music and it's all covers. It's great. No, I think
it's one of my favorite traditions.
Technically, a great album, and you can't deny it because it gets millions and millions of listeners every year.
One of my favorite traditions is when we put the Christmas tree up, playing this from start. Like just when the tree goes up, we start putting the lights and stuff on, and Michael Bublé singing it's beginning to look like. I just love it, and I love Christmas. Like I genuinely fucking I love Christmas.
I do like Christmas.
Just from being a kid, like. We had so many traditions when I was a kid to do with Christmas, and we still do them to this day. Like I always have such fun memories from Christmas.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about it on the Christmas episodes.
We'll have fun this year with some Christmassy nostalgia bit episodes. That'll be great.
I have to get me a Christmas jumper for the episodes.
Oh my god, I need to get a new one. I've got a few old ones now.
I do
I
as well.
To
I've got a Mandalorian one.
With the baby Grogu on it?
Yeah.
I've got the same fucking one!
Oh my god!
Oh my god! That's class.
We'll have to wear them for an episode.
We'll have to wear them in an episode now. We've definitely got the same one.
Yeah.
Without any further ado, should we jump into the number ones? Okay, my number one. I don't know how to introduce this one. It's kind of a hard one to introduce. Not really. I mean, this is considered one of the best albums of all time. So it's a bit of a normie take. I think in Apple Top 100 that they released. Do you remember recently out at Apple? Apple Music did their like Top 100, and they released this. They actually put this at number 3. So it is technically, objectively a very good album. But personally for me, this is Abbey Road.
Oh yeah.
So Abbey Road is my favourite Beatles album. And I think I would never have considered it to be in my top albums until this year, really. Last year, before going to Liverpool, I did a proper listen through where I basically sat down and I listened to all of the Beatles albums in order of release, chronologically. All the shit songs, all the good songs. To kind of educate myself, to find new songs that I wasn't aware of, and find albums that I liked in their entirety. Abbey Road... Not a single song on this album is a skip for me. It is, for me, it is the absolute peak of what the Beatles were capable of. And it is just phenomenally good. Every track on this has a different style and a different bit of inspiration. And they did that with the White Album. The White Album's brilliant as well, but I don't think the White Album quite has the same source as Abbey Road does. The White Album, effectively, for the Beatles, is the Beatles were very experimental, right? And they would do a lot of different styles, and they did with a lot of different things. And the White Album had basically one of everything. Every song in the White Album was completely different, and it was different, experimental, all that sort of thing. You have a 9-minute contemporary song where someone says number 9 for 9 minutes, and then you've got like some of the best written songs of all time. So that's that balance. But Abbey Road is almost like a tighter wrapped package than that. You have Come Together, which is a song that's been used numerous times, very well known. Something, which is a beautiful ballad. Maxwell's Silverhammer, which is a fucking goofy Paul McCartney song about someone murdering someone with a hammer, and it's great. Oh Darling, again, a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful song. with some surprisingly strong like rock influences in there. Octopus's Garden, one of Ringo's best hits. The man can't sing, but he has some absolute bangers. Octopus's Garden is one of them. I Want You, She's So Heavy, again, phenomenal 7-minute track, goes on and is like the motif that runs throughout the rest of the album. Here Comes the Sun, very well known, one of the most famous Beatles songs. Not a personal favourite of mine, but it is objectively a good song. Because, kind of haunting, but really cool. I'm going through all of them, fuck it. And You Never Give Me Your Money is a gorgeous part of the soundtrack as well, and this is where we start to go into the second half of the album. And in the second half of the album, we get that seamless run. And that is where it sort of tickles my fancy. Side 1 is all individual but brilliant tracks. The side 2 is a seamless run, which tells various little stories, but is just, again, like the peak of contemporary music. Modern contemporary music for me. Yeah, okay, it's not modern, it's from the 60s. But for me, like, this is what I'm saying. Like, in terms of music history, it's at the top for me. And it's not everyone's cup of tea. I'm sure people would like praise individual Beatles songs, but not this run. For me, this run from Sun King, Mean Mr. Mustard, Polythene Pam, She Came In Through the Bathroom Window, Golden Slumbers, Carry That Weight, and The End is a phenomenal run of small songs which blend into each other, and they clearly recorded in one set. It is designed to be listened to through and through, or on vinyl. It's intended that way, similar to Dark Side of the Moon. It's an absolutely phenomenal album, and I cannot gush about it enough. And the more I listen to it, the more I love it. And it's one of those ones that never, ever gets old. If I'm ever stuck with what music to put on, I'll just stick on Abbey Road, and I'll listen to it through and through. I might put on my Beatles playlist sometimes and shuffle it, but it's never as good as getting this many good songs in one album. I mean, it's actually incredible that they managed it. I mean, the Beatles are phenomenal, right? They are one of the most famous bands in the world for a reason. They released albums that have basically banger after banger after banger after banger, and that is a very rare thing to find. But Abbey Road is absolutely one of them, and I am not surprised that Apple Music put it as their third best album of all time.
What was 2 and 1, do you know?
2 and 1, Thriller by Michael Jackson was 2, and The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill was number 1. I'm not as familiar with that one. But yeah.
I've not listened to Abbey Road all the way through, which I think's... Beatles as well, like, Beatles, I actually haven't listened to that. Like, I've never gone... Like, Queen I did... was like my band that I went back and listened to a lot of their albums and stuff. I've never ever done it with the Beatles. Obviously I know the famous ones.
For me, like I never rated the Beatles that much as a kid. My granddad loves the Beatles, but loves their earlier
My sister
work.
Does. Absolutely.
But I think you've got to love different eras, and I think the interesting thing about this is a lot of people like early Beatles, and that's all I knew, and that's all a lot of people know. But early Beatles is very 60s, kind of like, I'm in love with you, here's 20 songs about being in love with you, wanting to kiss you, wanting to hold your hand, saying slightly suggestive things that probably wouldn't be allowed nowadays, but were acceptable in the 60s. And then they get smacked off their tits and do loads of really trippy albums, and then it gets very, like, more, like, rock influence, but more just kind of ballads and heavy, just... But so that's why I think, for me... the end of their career as the Beatles is some of their best work. I think Let It Be, I think the White Album, I think Let It Be, and I think Abbey Road are 3 really phenomenal albums. But if I had to pick a favourite, it would be Abbey Road, probably closely followed by Let It Be. Just because for me, that's the era of the Beatles that I just resonate with completely. I'd never known about that era before, and when I discovered it, after only assuming what I thought about the Beatles was just what they are, after discovering this, I was like, oh, okay, they are genuinely, like, the best band of all time for me. I adore it. And it's, fuck it, it's a normie take, but it's a brilliant album.
Very nice. A lot of passion for your final choice, your number 1.
A lot of passion.
Yeah.
I love that album.
I'm probably going to bring the exact same passion for my number 1, because I've just been looking at the little track. I love this album so much. This album is from March 5th, 2013, and it is the 2020 Experience Part 1 by Justin Timberlake. This was a two set of albums, so he did the 2020 Experience Part 1 and Part 2 a few years later. Specifically Part 1, because this one held so much nostalgia for me. I grew up with Justin Timberlake. My dad was a massive Justin Timberlake fan and would play his songs for me all the time growing up. So when this album came out, my dad encouraged like us to buy the album together and listen to the album together. And I absolutely adore this album. Some of the songs in these albums are 9-minute songs. You basically get,
that,
but this is the thing though. You get 2 songs in the one songs. So I've pulled the track list up on my phone so I can check the length of some of them. So Push of Love Girl is the first song. It's an 8-minute song in total. However, what's so clever is not all the songs are like 8-9-minute songs. What's so clever is all the songs that are longer, they start in a way, they start like more traditional Justin Timberlake, like your pop, and then halfway through they'll switch to just something completely different. Push Love Girl starts off as like a proper like love song, like traditional love song, and full on switches to a techno song halfway through, and it's it's like it's so well done. It's not like techno, like rave techno, but it's like it has like a more like robotic feel to it. Suit and Tie, amazing. Jay-Z, like some amazing features as well on this, like. But it's again, it's one of those albums that you have to listen to all the way through, like in order. It has ranges. It has pop. It has like the little bit of like techno pop, country song. It has in there thrown in. It has some famous ones that were were all over radio when they first came out. Which is like Mirrors was all over the radio when it first came out, and is actually probably my least favorite song on the album. So,
really?
Like dead serious. It's probably one of my least favorite songs on the album because there's just so many. Push Love Girl, number 1.
I need to familiarise myself because I can't even hear these in my head. Good. I don't know whether I know them or not.
Suit and Tie again is quite a famous one that came out. Don't Hold the Wall again, it's like more like a techno, like it's not techno, but it's just different. Like it's just not a traditional pop that you'd expect. Strawberry Bubblegum's like almost like a weird like ballad, and then it goes into like some like weird like kinky songy. Then it's so strange, but not in a bad way. But it's like
yeah.
It's just it's got such an amazing range, and I just remember listening to this on repeat when I was a kid. And again, I know like most of the words to most of these songs. The 9-minute songs I could sing all the way through. Like I just love it so much. That Girl, which is the more like country one, is so good. And I love Justin Timberlake. A lot of his older stuff. There's a lot of his older songs that I enjoy. That some of these reflect what he did in his older songs, and I just love that so.
I don't really know much about Justin Timberlake, bar the like sort of personality side of him.
Yeah.
Wasn't he in that Facebook film, the Social Network?
Yes, Social Network. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just he's done quite a bit of acting actually. But yeah, like he's done so many different like genres of songs. He's done like the pop, the hip hop kind of thing, and then he's done country as well. Like he's a massive country singer.
So
he's
a massive country singer.
Yes, country. Not massive, but like he's done country songs. His Super Bowl halftime is so good. It's so good.
Either. See, I don't know really anything about Justin Timberlake, so I feel like I'm learning a lot here. I'm just letting you cook.
Like, generally, if you considering listening to it, I'd honestly consider listening to this one because it's like you get 2 for 1. Like, as much as you might look at the songs and go, "Oh, an 8-minute song," it's like listening to 2 different songs because there's like a break in them. There's like a small break in the middle, like 5 seconds, and then it'll start again. Same kind of, obviously the same kind of theme, but complete different vibe, and it's just so good. But it's a shame because the longer songs don't get the recognition they deserve because like radios won't play them, they won't go into charts because it's just too long. If that makes sense.
I mean, it makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, like
I
Mirrors.
Bohemian Rhapsody had a lot of issues with that.
Yeah,
that first sort of was a thing.
Like the actual Mirrors, which is the most famous one, is an 8-minute song, but the only bit that ever gets played is the first half of it because it's. Because for radio, they're not going to play an 8-minute song in a top 40. It's only going to be like the 4-minute version.
Interesting.
But you miss out on so much not listening to the second half. Because this is the thing as well, so many of these songs, my favourite parts are the second half.
Interesting.
Like,
well, maybe that's worth. Yeah, I have not even heard of this, and I didn't even know this was a thing.
Don't get me wrong.
Completely, yeah.
2020 Experience Part 2, which came out a few years later, is still good, but I don't think it. It's not even close. Like, it has some great songs in it, but it pales in comparison to the first part. And it's got a sick album cover, so.
Yeah. No, I like that. I feel like I'm learning a lot, and that's what I like about us having different tastes. As much as I
Yeah.
don't really get it, I'm like, I'm interested.
Mhm.
And something I've kind of thought about, and this is just kind of throwing a curveball into the mix before we sort of move on to our final little segment. What I'm gonna do is I am gonna craft one fat Spotify playlist.
That's a really good idea.
With all of our top picks in their entirety, every
Don't put
single
KSI in
album.
there.
I'm putting everything in there because you said it.
I'll put honorable mentions in instead.
No, we'll put them all in. And I'll put a link to that hopefully in the description of this or just on social media so you can look out for that. If you want to just check all of these out and don't want to look at them all individually, you're more than welcome to check out our individual playlist from this episode. So that would be, that'll be great.
Very
I'll put
good
that
idea.
out there and you can have a listen to that.
Really,
So,
really, really good
look
idea.
out for that. But
Love it.
off the back of that, we've got one final thing to do, and that is to go into our regular segment we've got here called Just News. I'm not going to explain what it is. We've done it so many times. Are you ready, Cooper? Yeah?
I'm ready.
Happy for this? The title... The title of this, I'm hoping we've got some fun stuff in here. Because
Okay.
the headline isn't that immediately funny, bar the first word, because it's very strangely phrased. But, Devon. Would you buy 6-acre Drake's Island near Plymouth with private beach and 15 ghosts?
Are they asking Devon if he wants to buy this, or
Devon, do you want to buy
Devon,
this?
do you want to buy?
And
So
I don't know if it's Drake. It's called Drake's Island or it's Drake's Island.
So, I actually looked at this news story to be one of mine. I didn't read it though. I only read the title.
And you didn't put it in, so that's good.
And I looked at the title and saw some. And I already had other ones prepped. So,
Yeah.
but I did remember passing this because I remember seeing the 15 ghost thing and was very confused.
Well, here we go. Let's go into it then.
Here we go.
Let's hope it's good. Drake's Island, just 600 yards from Plymouth, is now for sale. It was used as a military defence for hundreds of years, with 18th century cannons included in the price. Wow. The 6-acre island off the Devon coast, complete with private beach fortifications and planning permission for a luxury hotel, has been put up for sale. Drake's Island, just 600 yards from Plymouth, was... Yep. Already read that.
600
Why-
yards?
Yep.
What?
Where I open Google Maps and have a look how close that actually is.
600 yards? 600 yards is like walking distance.
I mean, it literally. Yeah, it's. Oh my god, it's a little bit like. Oh my god, it's like Alcatraz. It's like you can literally. It's literally like in the fucking port.
Oh my god.
Ah, interesting. That's kind of funky. Go Plymouth. Slay. It takes less than 10 minutes to reach by boat, and once on land, there is military history everywhere, from old barracks to artillery batteries, complete with shell shafts and underground gunpowder stores. It has over 2,000 years of history. The first recorded building is 1135. Current owner and local businessman Morgan Phillips says. Fuck me. It's more interesting. I want to get onto the ghosts, man. It was its nuclear deterrent of its day. That's probably why the Spanish Armada never came here. Mr. Phillips bought the island in 2019 for £6 million and has worked on securing consent for a 43-bed hotel. He gives guided tours to groups. Plymouth is trying to become a destination. It's getting there. It's a long way forward with that. What we really need is the island to be taken forward, and someone who has got the budget to be able to do that, he explained. The island is named after Sir Francis Drake, not Drake the musician. I was going to be saying. Because if it was Drake the musician, it wouldn't be military history. There'd just be a big shrine to Millie Bobby Brown when she was 13. Sir Francis Drake, who set sail to circumnavigate the globe in 1577. It has no fixed guide price, but renovation costs are estimated at around £25 million. What? Piss easy, man. I'd say who'd be able to do that.
Drake.
Jurassic Mark. No, different angles. Ali Rayner from property consultants Carter Jonas is leading the sale. Proposals include for these outbuildings to be converted into bedrooms, and one of the things the owner has been thinking about is using it as a wedding venue.
Nah.
But what about the ghosts? Any new owner may not be alone, though, with reportedly 15 resident ghosts, all former military men. If you believe the mediums who come out here, they're all British squaddies, says Mr. Phillips.
Squaddies. Oh, that's horrible.
Squad.
Squad roll, Steve.
They are here to protect us. That's what they did when they were alive, and that's what they're still doing. Oh, fuck me.
Yeah,
We're getting a little bit fucking Brexit there, aren't
Sod
we?
off.
Say, roll Britannia! Britannia!
God save our gracious king. Oh, God, I don't like that. Right.
I've seen enough to say stuff happens here that I can't explain. But
God,
all of
that
it
sounds
is
really
really
dodgy.
nice, he insists. But that's the end of the article!
Right, okay. First of all...
What does he mean? It's all... Lots
Sod-
of stuff happens here, but it's good.
Sod the hotel. I'm not being funny. If you have an island, a 60-acre island, do not fucking build a hotel on it. Stupid idea.
60-acre island.
Something
Hotel
sick.
haunted by 15 Brexiteers, gammons.
Airsoft field. Rent it to the Sidemen for a hide-and-seek video.
Fucking brain rot, man. What are you talking about?
Paintball centre. Like, you want something sick. Why
is it with you in paintball? What's going on?
No, I'm saying, why would you put a hotel on it?
Why would you put an paintball thing there?
Because it's imagine doing like airsoft a paintball just on an island.
Yeah, but the value of an island.
Yeah. Like, I'm not being funny. How are you really going to get on a boat to go and stay on an island for one night?
Oh yeah, fuck it. Yeah. No, but that's what I'm saying. Like a wedding destination. It's better than fucking Delta Force paintballing taking it fucking over.
What, an island? No, that's...
Are you mad?
What, so you're going to have your wedding photos with... So you're going to take all your wedding photos with Plymouth Port in the background?
It might not have Plymouth Port in the background, man.
What, so you're going to be walking out onto the cute romantic little dock for them to take your wedding photos with Plymouth in the background?
Okay, you probably not take them with that angle in mind, sure. But most of it isn't the port. Most of it is, like, hills and the sea. You make a good point, but I think it's definitely better as a fucking, like, I don't know, like a sort of, like, shit English version of Mamma Mia.
I just don't see people getting on a 10-minute boat ride to
Could
go.
you imagine that?
I'm not being funny.
On the rocky beaches of Plymouth. Don't go sharing
on the dock on the island. What would
it
you
literally
see?
is.
Yeah,
it's like a shit Mamma Mia.
I look at it as, okay, I have an island to myself. What cool stuff. Not saying the hotel's not cool. What cool stuff could I put on it?
Careful.
Yeah. cool stuff. Paintball, airsoft, that kind of stuff.
If I
Quad
owned
bikes.
an island, what would I do with it?
I would just make it. I would want something that's like an activity island, like paintballing, like airsoft, like.
Just you'll be all right. Just don't do a flight log.
I'd put speakers and blast "Not Like Us" by Kendrick Lamar 24/7.
I'm looking at the layout. It looks like a pretty good COD map, to be honest. I think
exactly.
Fucking
paintball and airsoft. That's what I'm saying. It's the first thing I think
I just
of.
don't think that would make as much money as a hotel would.
I'm not being funny. You've just said it's like Alcatraz. Call of Duty Zombies has a fucking map on Alcatraz. It's a Call of Duty Zombies
get
map.
off the Call of Duty Zombies train, bro. Look, for me, the problem doesn't come with that. The problem comes with the fucking 15 Brexiteer gammons that are sort of haunting the island. Can you imagine you're trying to sleep, or you're trying to have like your wedding, and it's all wholesome, or for example, you're celebrating, you don't know who your dad is, and you invite all three of them to this island for your wedding, and you have like loads of really weird song moments from the music of ABBA, and then whilst that's happening, like fucking gammons come down, and
then it turns out that you have a fourth dad and he's a ghost, and it's like, what the hell?
Yeah, and the guy and like, you know, it's there's like families and stuff there, and it's a very nice occasion, and the one of the ghosts comes in and goes like, "Where are you originally from?" And it's like, oh god, it would ruin the day, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's I just think there's so many other things, like, I don't know, there's just something about having a private island that I guess it's cool to be able to have the weddings and stuff, but like, just there's other stuff you can do. Paintball and Mamma Mia. Paintball, Mamma Mia.
Out of context. Like, you could have a hotel on if you owned an island, you could make a hotel, or you could do other things with it.
You could do paintball whilst playing Mamma Mia music. Sorted, or ABBA music.
I'm not
I should
being
say,
funny. I'm not being funny. If that was what they did with it, I would be fucking there opening day, baby.
Exactly.
Can you imagine
the Mamma Mia
running around? Honestly, like money, money, money.
Exactly. like playing like Capture the Flag to Money,
Yeah.
Money, Money or something like that.
Or like SOS.
Yes.
When you're gone, that would be amazing.
Yeah. There's just so many amazing things you could do with it.
Mamma Mia X Paintball. Can we make this happen?
Like, why-
We've got the ABBA Voyage. We've
Why
got
have
the
the
Mamma
Mamma
Mia
Mia
dining experience
experience?
in London.
Why-
We've
why-
got a dining experience in London. We need a Mamma Mia paintballing
paintball.
experience.
Sign me up. I'm there day one.
I'll be there.
I'll be there no matter what. I'll be there
I know that
every other
fucking-
weekend.
The bloke on TikTok who's like, "Have you got a dream?
Yeah.
You know, like, have you got a business idea? Have you got a dream?"
Yes,
and
I
go,
do.
Yes, I do. Mamma Mia paintball.
Let me buy this. How much did you say it was? 25 mil.
No, he said
He
he would probably
bought it
need
for.
25 mil. No, he bought
Oh,
it for like
6 million.
mil.
Let me buy this $6 million island, pound island. Knock down all of the. Actually, no, don't knock down the buildings. Just make them derelict, and start a paintball arena or airsoft arena.
It's not safe.
honestly.
That's not safe. For a big London bus in the middle of it.
Yeah, see, just start
Little
dropping
fake
stuff
pyramid.
on it. Yeah, that'd be quite cool. Doing like a multicultural paintball where you start use like you get like a replica of the Statue of Liberty, and you get a replica of
Okay.
like a pyramid, or you get a replica of like Big Ben, or like the Great Wall of China, like those just random. That'd be just making it like the ones in Dubai, the islands that are supposed to be like the countries of the planets and stuff. I don't know what they're called.
Yeah.
You have no idea what I'm talking about, do you?
No.
Do you actually not? They basically there was
No.
a massive project in Dubai where they artificially made a set of islands that are all supposed to represent a country on the planet, obviously. And you can buy them and basically do whatever you want with them. And that's kind of I've got this
Okay.
fucking tangent. I'm gonna stop.
But we need to wrap this up.
Yeah, you
Bearing
go.
in mind how long this episode is.
You go.
But yeah, Mamma Mia Island. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Nostalgia Bit, everyone. Thank you very much. If you're listening on Spotify, or you're not listening on Spotify, head over to Spotify and give us a lovely little 5-star review over there. It'd be very much appreciated. We've also got a brand new YouTube channel, which isn't actually that
Because
brand
it's
new
not brand
anymore.
new
I shouldn't have
anymore.
said that. Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
not. But we're on YouTube, Nostalgia Bit. You can see the full videos, podcasts
Yep.
over on there, as well as on Spotify. We're also on a bunch of other platforms, Apple, Amazon, Castbox, because Google doesn't exist anymore. And yeah, that's that. We've got TikTok, we've got Instagram, all the socials. Check us out in the description below. And yeah, thank you so much for listening. We'll be back next week with, I'm not sure what, probably, it looks like we're just going to shoot the shit, but that might get changed. Who knows?
One final note.
Go on.
The only thing I would only buy this. Well, I'd like to put a radio tower on this island or buy it.
Just
It
shut the
only-
fuck up about the island, bro!